You don't need to ban screens. You don't need to take everything away. And you definitely don't need to feel guilty every time your child touches a tablet. Because today, I'm going to help you develop a screen time plan that actually works and help you to reduce those tantrums and not create more power struggles. And the number one reason they usually fail is because they're focused on control and not on predictability. It's about you need to stick to inside of this 1 hour block or this 2 hour block and not this is when you can have it. Because remember, once we hear the don't, the no, the can't, it already triggers certain things in our brain that says cortisol level increases, we're going to get in trouble, I don't know about this. So we want to try to decrease all of that, and we just want to let them know when they can. So as opposed to just using the strict time, although I definitely believe they should be timed and they should not go over a certain amount of time, they don't need to know that. All they need to know is what needs to happen prior to them accessing and when that is done. So it may sound something like, oh, well, you can have screen time after you eat your breakfast and then before we go out for our morning walk. You can have screen time after you finish your learning, but before we eat our breakfast for the day. Or after you've played for 30 minutes outside. So you are telling them when they can. You've just switched the language. Also, it's very predictable. The screen times plans usually fail when they're unpredictable, when they change in the middle of the day, when stuff is taken away or screen time is taken away when somebody gets upset or makes a mistake. That's when the screen time plan fails because it's emotional, it's not unpredictable, nobody knows it's going to happen, and nobody knows what's coming up next. That's why the first step to creating a screen time plan that actually works is letting them know when they can have access to the screen time. So we just gave you a few examples, but one thing that could really help is if you go to our Behavior Bootcamp for Parents and you get our toolkit, and inside of our toolkit we have a morning and evening routine chart which lets you know and put down what your child needs to do every step of the day in order to access the things that they like. That way you're not worried about time, they're not worried about time. They just know that they need to accomplish these goals to get there. And you'll see they will take it on as if it is their job because they want the screen time just as much as you want it because that's also your break. We understand that. So they're going to do whatever you put on that list to the best of their ability to access it. So you're just flipping the script to let them know when they can access it, how they can access it. This is the next part. You might be saying, well, they can't just play indefinitely. And you're absolutely correct. Like I said, there definitely needs to be a time limit. They don't need to know that. Only you need to know that. But the second part is setting up a schedule. They need to understand what the schedule is. So it may be something like, once you get on, I'm going to give you 5 more minutes when it's almost time to get off. And once that 5 minutes is up, we can go ahead and transition. Or here, you see our visual schedule up here? It says that once the clock hits 12 o'clock, we got to go. Or you might even have one of those visual timers that when the red runs out, it's all done. All right, I got timer fever right now, but even the liquid timers, once all this liquid is gone in this timer, all the purple drips down, we're going to go on to something else. So you're scheduling in the transition as opposed to, 30 minutes is up, got to go click, because you know what you're going to see at that point? Boom. And that's what we're trying to avoid. So, number 1, telling them when they can have screen time. Number 2, building in a schedule. And then here comes number 3, making sure not only that you stick to that schedule, but that they have something to do after screen time is over. Preferably something that's highly reinforcing. Obviously, it's not going to be as reinforcing as screen time, but it can be significantly reinforcing because you don't want to go from a high level of dopamine to nothing. Screen time shouldn't just end into oblivion. There should be something that comes up next. That's why step 3 is identifying and letting them know what comes up next. After screen time, we're going to go hop in the bath. Some kids like bath time. After screen time, we're going to go and start to eat our food. Some kids love dinner. Or after screen time, we're going to play a family game. We're going to play one of our favorite games here, the allowance game. So you have that reconnection. You have an idea of what's coming up next. And that helps the body and the brain to transition to the next activity before they actually have to do it. Just think, anytime we have to do something, we have to do what? have a mindset shift. That means we need to start thinking about what we want to do next before we actually do it. That's the same process that this works off of. You're letting them know what's coming next so they can already start to shift and have that mindset reprogram to where they're identifying what they're going to do next. That helps to lower the cortisol levels, keep the dopamine at a high level so you don't get that chemical imbalance when you go from high dopamine to nothing. It shouldn't be, turn the TV off, now I want you to go sit down and read a book. That's not likely to happen. 30 minutes is up, go find something to do. That's inviting a problem. Or even worse, okay, click, you just don't say anything, you just turn it off. Boom. You should expect that things are going to get pretty hairy at that point. So identifying what they're going to do after screen time is the entire structure. It's the meat to the entire structure. So let's just do a quick recap. First, you want to tell them when they can have it as opposed to when they cannot have it. Are these strict numbers boundaries? Number two, you're going to schedule in the transition so they know what to go from screen time to the next activity. And number three, you're going to tell them what they're going to do next. Hopefully, it's highly reinforcing. Obviously not as highly reinforcing as screen time, but something that's good. And those three will help you get a nice package, a nice beginning to help you transition. This is where the screen time fails. The screen time plans fail. When there is no plan, when there's inconsistency, so you enforce it sometimes and you don't enforce it others. When you use screen time as a bargaining chip, I've been a victim of this myself. If you go be good in the store right now, I'll give you 15 more minutes of Mario Kart World. Let's go. Very, very dangerous game. And then this is another one that I've also been guilty of, and that is emotionally punishing the child by taking away screen time during an emotional moment. So they do something that you don't approve of. You get mad. You know what? Weekend is done. You're all done for all the weekend. No more Mario. Number one, they're going to be upset and they're going to throw a tantrum. They're going to blow up. And then you are going to have instant regret because you're going to say immediately, dang, all the stuff that I had planned during their screen time, I can't do now. We have to admit, screen time is a good time for us to get things done. And for some people, it has become a digital babysitter. So you also are going through some withdrawals when you take away the screen time because you don't get that free time anymore. Keep your free time. Keep them sane by stay consistent with how you enforce your screen time rules. That alone will significantly decrease the amount of tantrums that you experience during screen time. You're also rewiring the brain so that it understands how to move from a highly reinforcing activity to something that is not so reinforcing. Even scheduling in boring times of the day. Children, people need to be bored. It's natural that boredom begets creativity, and that's where you get genius. So it's okay if they're bored. Let them be bored. That's actually good for them. That's stimulating their creativity and other parts of their brain that are not being stimulated when everything's being fed to them constantly. So if you need help developing a screen time plan, don't hesitate to reach out to us or even check out our Behavior Bootcamp for Parents, where we have a number of tools and we have a number of videos that show you how to deal with tantrums, how to use de-escalating language so that you don't experience a significant number of tantrums and blow-ups. And make sure you stay tuned for our next video in the series, which is 3 things that you need to watch out for in your child's behavior that might let you know that screen time is having an effect on it, and then what to do about it. So make sure you stay subscribed and you hit that notification bell so that when we drop that, you'll be the first one to catch it. So once again, this is Ken with Jed School, and we hope that you really enjoyed and had a lot of information from this particular video. And stay tuned because we're going to see you in the next one.